week's Ask Dr. Nikki comes from Yasmin, and the question is, dear Dr. Nikki, do you think it's a good idea to follow certain rules when dating? My short answer to that is hell no. It's one of the reasons why I wrote a dating book, because I was so sick to death of people telling me what I should be doing and how I should be doing it and how I should be dating and acting as though there were these rules. I remember having a conversation with some girls during dinner one night. They had very different beliefs to what I did, but the conversation was around how many dates you should have with someone until you have, how many dates you should have until you have sex with them. And I think these girls were saying it was like 3 or 5. And I can't remember the number. Let's just say for argument's sake it's 3. And I remember asking them why. Like, why specifically is it 3? And they're like, well, that's just what you do. And I was kind of looking at them blankly. I was like, who is the god of dating that decided that that was a rule that we should stick to? I have friends who are now married that had sex like as their first date. It was a casual hookup and things went really well, and boom, here they are a few years later. So it's not to say that if you have sex with somebody early on that they can't dismiss it as casual and it doesn't continue to something else. That's a factor, but it doesn't mean that we should have these rules set in place of who pays, how often you should have sex with somebody, when you should call them back, what's the time period when they send you a text message, or they send you or they leave a voicemail, should you actually return that? That's called game playing, by the way. I think what's really important is that you take the time to work out what you want, how you want to be treated, and what kind of things that you deem as disrespectful or not. If you think someone's playing games with you and you're really not into them, then don't worry about replying to those text messages, or say to someone, listen, I'm really not into this. If you feel like you're in a situation where you really want to explore that sexual intimacy and that connection that you are feeling at the table at dinner, and it's like the heat you could cut with a knife. Can you cut heat with a knife? You know what I'm saying. And you feel safe and secure within that, and it's consensual, then there's nothing wrong with that. We need to get out of this headspace that there are rules when dating. There are not rules when dating, but there needs to be a moral compass that we decide. What are you comfortable with? What are you happy with when it comes to the bill? You know, that's another thing that I hear so many people discuss as to what you should do and what you shouldn't do. I remember a group of guys saying to me, if the girl doesn't at least offer, then we won't have a second date. And I questioned them and said, well, if she offers, will you take the offer or go Dutch? Oh, no, we'll always pay, but she needs to offer. That really confused me, because I'm like, well, you want her to offer, but you want it to be a false offer. And I know girls who would offer, but then be offended if the guy took her offer. You know, a great way around that is, do you believe that we should be equal? Do you believe that if someone asks you out, they should be paying? Or do you think it's just there's a way to navigate around both contributing? Maybe somebody pays for dinner, then you get the next one, or you take them out for drinks afterwards, or you get dessert. You know, there's ways that you can navigate around that don't have to necessarily sit with this idea of these rules. You do what you want to do and what you feel is right for you, and block out these ideas and these rules, not ideas, sorry, some people's ideas can be really good, but these rules that people place in this idea of these should-dos. If people start saying to you things like you should do this and you should do that, question, why should you, and where did that come from? Who created what I call the should-do curse? So I hope that helps, and I hope that you find the strength to really listen to yourself and look at what is right for you, and block out this idea of these rules and these things that we should follow when dating. Now, if you have an Ask Dr. Nikki that you would like answered, make sure you head over to my Facebook or Instagram, shoot me a private message, ask me anything you want, and I may just answer it on here. Thanks, bye.